1, 2, 3, I don't know who else to be. 4, 5, 6, like they say I can't be fixed.
Hi, I'm Jenny,
And I'm Jill.
and welcome to Fluffy Mother Fluffer, where we're taking life seriously, one laugh at a time.
Part 2 of our discussion on friendships. Today we're talking besties. What makes them, what keeps them, and how they are so damn cute. That might be more my part, because after you do besties, I'm going to talk about pesties. Pet besties.
That's a good one for you.
And then we'll wrap it up with today's special segment, Badass Mother Fluffer. You'd sent me a question.
Yeah, how you pick up other mom friends. You have one friend that you, her name's Hadley. No,
Ow.
I mean,
Ow. Ow. Ow.
right?
Hoodles. Larry.
Oh,
She's got lots of nicknames. Yeah, that's right. I threw them out there.
you've been friends with her since school.
Since high school.
Since high school.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of different, but you're like friends that you've made as an adult or more so as a mom. How, I mean, some people have some funny stories of like,
Yeah.
because essentially what I found is making new friends is a lot like dating at this
Yeah.
part in our lives. And I've literally went on, like asked other women out on dates, like, hey, do you want to go have dinner with me? And not really known them at all. And it's developed into friendships.
Well, that's good. That's very extroverted of you.
Yeah.
I just force my way in. I just wiggle into friend groups and then I'm like, hello.
My girlfriend, Melissa, she told me a
Who's that?
story.
Who sounds like she's really good at editing things.
She said her friend Anne literally wrote her number on a napkin and gave it to Melissa.
Really? And they're still friends?
She said, yeah, they're good friends now.
Huh.
But I was like, that's funny.
That's good though. That's good for Melissa. That means she seems approachable. And she does kind of, I don't know, she like kind of, that's how I met all of you.
That's true.
Our sons were on soccer team together and that's how we met.
I met her playing soccer. My husband convinced me to play co-ed soccer, which,
What? Really? This is true?
yeah,
This happened.
this happened.
Did
Was
you
the only
have
other girl.
matching outfits?
Yeah, we all had jerseys.
Shut up.
Me. Yeah.
I never heard this story.
What?
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. Okay, so you met all these people that we have mutual friendships with through playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I came later.
Yeah, where were you?
I don't know. I'm trying to think when this was. I was hiding in my house with my Pestie. Last episode.
Yeah.
We're going to try to be happier today. So episode 4, sometimes we have to do that. Dig a little into the fluff and try to shovel it away. And the best way to do it is to talk about it and relate.
Where you're like, nope, this is never going to work.
Yeah. So, but there's also the wonderful side to friendship that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So you're going to talk about besties.
Yeah. So what makes a best friend a best friend? I have so many questions about this.
Okay. My first question is, where the hell is my necklace? Secondly,
Okay. I'm serious though. Okay. Listen, if you have answers, you need to speak up.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So can your best friend not consider you their best friend back?
Yeah, I think they could.
I think they can too, but this is kind of a new realization for me. Because I've had friends where I was like, thought we were really close. And then they talk about their best friend. And I'm like, God damn it. Who beat me? You know?
I will crush her.
Okay. So can the person you consider your best friend have someone else they consider their best friend?
I
See,
think
but
it's because I don't see best friends as being, I just have one best friend.
See, but
I see
don't
it
know that I don't-
categorically.
So you think you can have more than one best friend? Okay.
I think I have like one best friend from like when I was younger and one best friend from college and one best friend now. And yeah.
Right. And that was going to be my next question. Can you have more than one best friend? So,
Yes.
I don't know. Am I the only one that wonders these things? You've never thought about this before?
No, I do.
Oh.
Sometimes when I see a close friend post something, I'm like, why didn't I get to go?
Oh, yeah.
You guys are still puzzling? Oh.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
dude, I tell you,
I'm
Wednesdays.
totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. You know me. I will show up if I want to. I just I'm a pain.
Dude, when when I invite you to things and you actually show up, I'm like, hot damn.
Nuh-uh, I'm really good about showing up.
If you say you're going to be there, you will be there.
Mm-hmm.
That I will give you a lot of credit for, because when people don't, that drives me crazy.
Yeah. Me too.
But a lot of times you're just like, I'm just going to chill at home. And that's fine.
Is it though? Is it though? I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
I know it's one of my fluffy.
So, I mean, when I think of who a best friend is, I guess in my mind it would be a person who you value above other friends, someone you trust and confide in more than others.
Yep.
Usually the first person you're going to pick to hang out with.
Yep.
Okay. But it might not necessarily be the person you spend the most time with.
Agreed, because I am forced to hang out with my husband. I'm just kidding. He said he was my best friend yesterday, and I go, oh, your best friend isn't very nice to you sometimes.
Aw.
Me, I sometimes I'm not nice to
I
him.
know. Oh, I know. I wonder if my husband considers me his best friend.
Okay, so I am trying to get Captain Hot Pants to come on so that we can talk about that.
Okay.
The difference between female friendships and male friendships,
Yes.
because there's such a difference
Yes.
between how, for me, I think I am my husband's best friend because guys don't just go and open up to other people.
No,
But
right.
I do know all his cherished secrets, and then things I don't want to see
Right.
or know, I also know about him.
Things I don't even want to know.
But I think it might be true that men might value their relationships with their wives in a more best friend state more often than women, because we might go out and create those friendships because our society says it's okay for us to get together and
Yeah.
cry and laugh and talk about our feelings,
Right.
which I feel bad for them if that's true.
I do too. And I think things have come a long ways and things are still changing.
Oh, yeah.
But we need to cover that because it baffles my mind the way that I see these guy friends of his like interact or not interact.
Or talk to each other. Like
Yeah.
their way of being nice to each other is
I
to be
know.
mean,
I'm like,
or to show they care is to be mean.
I know. I also think that the idea of a best friend changes throughout time. So like I had said, it might not necessarily be the person you spend the most time with, but maybe at one point that used to be pre-kids, early teenage years, early 20s.
Sure.
Then likely it probably was the person you spent the most time with, you went out with, you did things with. But at least for me, that's changed. For me, that doesn't mean that I don't want to still do all those things, but that's just not the season of my life.
It's
right
so
now.
much more complicated.
Right.
It's just so hard to get together when you both have kids and when you get a free moment. It's so hard to do it. But when you get back together, I think the indication of a best friend is someone that even if you haven't seen each other in 6 months, when you do get together, it's like nothing changed.
Right. Yeah, I guess now to me, best friends looks like someone who, genuinely cares about me, my well-being, someone who lets me vent to them without judgment.
Or blabbering it to anybody else.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that's a big
Yes.
no for me in friendships or best friendships is if I tell somebody something and then it makes its little way around to me. Oh. But I think that's a really good point about a best friend is that it needs to be a trusting relationship.
Yeah.
My best friends, I have full trust and they know everything about me.
Not only do you need to be able to trust them and vent to them without judgment, but you also need someone who's going to be honest,
Yes.
with you and say, hey, you know what? You're being a little bit crazy.
I have told you that.
Yeah.
But you flat out ask me,
Yeah.
was that a little bitchy? And I'll be like, that was a little bitchy.
Yeah. Right. But I think we all need that because
sure.
sometimes you realize it and sometimes you don't. And you need somebody that you respect and that cares about you and isn't just being like...
It's where it comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
Who can say, yeah, maybe not be so hard on your husband. Or whoever.
We had a really good example of that this week because when I made the joke about Melissa being really good at editing, she's the only one that noticed that we had put a double word in our description of our podcast. Now, description of podcast changed probably 17 times. So like there's a lot of writing that goes into creating a podcast dynamic, like what you want to put out. Anyway, when she said it, then eventually she goes, I hope it's okay. Well, I said, as long as it comes from a place of loving helpfulness and not a place of judgment, that's not criticism. That's just making us aware of something we didn't know.
Right.
I mean, nobody's perfect.
Right. constructive criticism from a good place. Someone who
Yes,
could
from
say,
a good place.
Yeah.
That's another quality in a best friend.
Or someone who can just say, hey, you know what? I think you were a little wrong there.
Yeah.
Right. Also, somebody who you can depend on. Here's a big one. Somebody who loves my children like their own.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's huge, especially when you're looking for other mom friends. Somebody who cares about your kids because they are a part of you.
Yeah.
Someone who I don't feel like I have to clean my house for every time.
Yes.
And that's a harder one. That is a more difficult one. I have a couple friends where like I don't even think about picking up before they come over because I know that they're not going to judge me. They get it. I have 2 small children. It gets crazy. I'm exhausted. And then I have some friends I'll pick up a little bit or at least like do the dirty dishes.
What category do I fall in?
I usually will pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll usually do my dishes or something.
Is it because my house is...
Because your house is always clean every
Yeah.
time I come over.
But to be fair, it's been better. Like I don't clean up the way I used to, like
Yeah.
my kids' rooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was more of a fluffy outer layer for my anxiety. I don't like clutter.
Mm-hmm.
And then also bringing in new people that I don't quite know.
Mm-hmm.
That gives me anxiety
Yes.
because I am a little too perceptive of people. The way that I handle that is by controlling the environment around me,
Mm-hmm.
which is cleaning.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that.
Yeah. Which we mentioned in the episode on holiday too.
Yeah.
It's a busy mind that keeps you from thinking about what you really need to.
Right, exactly. But that's a good point, though. I will clean up a little bit only because I perceive your house to be so well put together.
Have you looked under my table?
But you know what I'm saying?
Hair.
So it does also depend
Yes.
on somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I'm never looking at your house to see if it's clean.
Okay.
I mean, if I walked in, it was like the stench of, I don't know.
Well, then we're going to go back to the honesty part of this conversation. And I hope you would be like,
It smells like poop in here. What happened?
well, the baby just shit all over the place.
Yes, that makes sense.
So let's talk about what are the 10 things that make a best friend.
Okay.
We kind of talked about them a little bit.
Yep. But read the list.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm just going
A
to
best
check
friend,
myself off.
A best friend listens to you.
Yes.
So I said, I find that Duck's opinion of me is very much dependent on if I have bread.
What?
Right? Exactly. So I could say the same stupid thing over and over. That's a Mark Hedberg
Oh, yeah.
comment anyways.
Okay.
But even if that was like my thing, I said all of the time, right? It's going to get old. It's going to get stupid after a while, but a best friend is still going to laugh at it. They're going to be like, oh, okay, whatever. That's just Jenny.
Here comes the duck comment. Yeah. Listen, a listening ear. Got it.
A best friend always has your back. Your struggles are their struggles. If someone wrongs you, they automatically wrong them too. I would say that's a good quality in a best friend.
Dude.
What?
Dude.
What?
Yup.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It's not something you find in everyone.
It's not. It's not, but it's something that when it's just an unspoken, yeah, I got you. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
A best friend accepts you at your worst. So if you lose your job, you're pissed off at the world, you're bitter about something, you know, a true friend will love you even at your worst.
Yeah.
You're being
You're
a
good at
biatch.
that because if I'm over at your house and I'm kind of like off my game, you always message me. You're like, you okay?
Well, and they'll be there to help pick up the pieces too. Or, you know, if you're really down about something, they're even going to just help you like wash those dishes in the sink or tell you to get your stinky ass in the shower.
I will 100% come over to anybody's house and help them clean if that is what they need.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really like gifts of giving, that is how I give love.
Right.
Is doing stuff for other people.
I do that too. Like that's kind of what I do for people too. But you don't, that's not your thing?
No, I'm more of like, well, it's my number 2. But like my number 1 is affirmation, just to feel like desire, like
Yeah.
what I'm doing is.
So
I just
being
like to
told,
hear, I just
like-
like to hear that, yeah, I'm on the right track with stuff, or that something's appreciated. I don't need gifts.
That's
or
interesting
anything.
because usually whatever you do is your number 1
Yeah,
love language. A best friend loves you like I love you, like a fat kid loves cake.
Yeah, I love me some cake.
I love me some cake.
I was a chubby kid.
I'm a chubby adult.
I loved cake a lot more than and McDonald's.
Best friend is someone you can talk to about personal things, like that hemorrhoid you developed after giving birth. Or for a dude after pushing out that large, well, you know.
Dude, you should have seen it.
You could talk to them about anything, confide in them, start a conversation with what you had for breakfast, and end with how you have the period shits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, in Jill's case, period parts.
Dude, they're so bad. Yep, this is all true.
There's going to be so many men out there right now listening. And
they're so turned on. They're like, dang, if I didn't think these girls were hot before.
Yeah. They're going to go home and be like, babe, is period shit's a thing? And
if you say no, you're a liar. Or some form of it, I should say.
Best friend gives you their honest opinion. We talked about that a little bit.
Yep.
A best friend encourages you. So we have these people in our lives who want to outdo, outshine, or down us. It's okay to be competitive, but people who don't have your best interests at heart aren't your friends, let alone your best friend. Mm-mm. I want my friends to succeed. I want them to do well. I want them to be happy doing what they're doing. But I have known people who do not.
Right. Well, it's like when I came at you with the blog. I know you're not a writer.
Writing these segments is a lot for me anyways.
Yeah. But I enjoy writing. So I was like, can I do a blog? And you're like, why couldn't you do a blog? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want to overstep boundaries. But it's like, you know what? A good friend wants to see you enjoy yourself.
Right. That's something that you've been wanting to do for a long time. So now is the perfect opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. And you're a really good writer.
You know what you'd be really good at? I'm just throwing this out there, is you need to get us up on TikTok.
I know.
You decide what we're doing for that.
I know.
Because you send the funniest shit from TikTok and I'm like, oh, we need to do that. I know. This is so relatable.
Yeah. Did you see that recent one I posted about the mom? Tree. Oh my God.
I nearly died when she pulled out her Christmas tree skirt.
Yeah.
And she started pulling onions from the tree skirt.
Oh, I can relate to that. My kids just find random stuff and just carry it around the house and throw it wherever they see fit. A best friend is dependable. Though someone you can count on. Yep. Someone you know what to expect from, or you go out of your way to accommodate them. I think that's a big thing. Kind of like what we talked about. We do things for people to show them we care. If someone comes over and they're hungry, I'm like, shit, I already ate. But if you're hungry, I'm going to feed you.
Right. Here's some ham. Go crazy.
Best friend never judges you. I mean, everybody judges, right? And if you say you don't, you're a liar.
No, you kind of have to get through life. That is a biological reaction. You have to judge danger and you have to judge benefit,
right?
Like reward versus loss. So you have to. It is a natural thing to do.
Yeah. So at some point, your bestie already has judged you. Mm-hmm. Probably when you first met them. There's no need to know,
That's a really good point. If you are at the beginning of a relationship and you're like, I am not feeling this person, mm-hmm. Your judgment is on and you should move on, because that's never going to go away, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you have that hard conversation.
And a best friend celebrates your successes. Sometimes you're Lucy, sometimes you're Ethel, sometimes you're Batman, sometimes you're Robin, sometimes you're Laverne, sometimes you're Shirley.
Sometimes you're Thelma, sometimes you're Louise.
Yeah. Or sometimes you're Bert, sometimes you're Ernie.
Yes. Oh man, I like that one.
When you succeed at something in life, that's when the haters are going to come out of the woodworks. It's another one of those fluffy parts of life. But your true friends are going to celebrate with you. Mm-hmm. I know I've said this before, but quality comes before quantity. So if you want to find quality friends, you need to be high quality yourself.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for my necklace, just saying.
Okay.
I prefer rose gold.
Oh, we're going to get picky now, huh?
Hey.
It's very demanding.
So Jenny gave us a list of all the qualities that make a good best friend. I'm going to
give us the qualities that make a good
pest friend.
So dogs have to live up to these qualities?
Okay, wait. I think that best friends and pet friends benefit us in different ways.
Oh.
Some point in my day, my kids call me out for the same thing. that I subconsciously do. As I'm snuggling on my bed or on the couch with like a book and the dog comes over. My dog's name is Captain Arnold Rampage Narwhal. The kids may or may not have had a part of that. But anyway, so when he comes over, I always, without fail, break into song. Do you do this?
No.
Oh my God, all the time. Where I'll start petting him and I'll be like, cutest, most fluffiest friend in the world, and I love you.
Oh my gosh. No, but my 4-year-old does.
Okay, well, I must have the mentality of a 4-year-old because I do it all the time. I always serenade my dog. And then they say something, I'm like, you know what? Deal with it. I am like 79% sure that he likes this, and that's good enough for me. So I'm going to keep doing it. But what makes me want to do that? It made me really think, why do I want to do that? What makes loving an animal that one year decided to eat half of our deck? You saw what he did to our deck. Why does that feel so good?
Your deck, your bushes, your blow-ups.
Oh my God. He tried to electrocute himself 3 times one winter. He ate every single Christmas blow-up. But is it normal to have a dog as a friend? Somebody that I just love hanging out with?
So this is a good question, and this brings me to a different idea, so I don't want to overstep. But
You're not.
okay.
I already came to a conclusion, but go on.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I used to be more like this before I had kids. And now, like, I love my dogs. I've had them for, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're just a pain in my ass because they're just 2 more things that need me.
Yep. So I think we're at different points because
Okay.
I realize the opposite now that my kids are getting a little older. They're not as needy. I think that putting so much love into my dog is this like fluffy security blanket that I throw on to avoid going out and making human friends.
Son of a bitch. You're probably right.
I think I am. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm dead nuts on with that one. Yep.
Dead nuts.
Dead nuts. He's got dead nuts. They're gone. But he stopped humping everything. So not that.
That's good.
All right. So you gave us 3 reasons why trying the human route for friendship is a good thing. So absolutely. I think those are all benefits of having a bestie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to advocate saving a little room, though, in the friendship zone for your Pestie, which is the name that Captain Hot Pants came up with because I said I'm going to do a segment on pet best friends, pet besties. And he goes, you mean pesties? Where they show up at the most inopportune time.
Yeah.
They throw their ball into the shower while you're showering and you're like, are you serious?
Right.
Or poke their nose someplace when something's happening. And I'm not going to go into that, but it happens.
Is he in the room with you guys
Sometimes.
when you do it?
And he sleeps in there.
You just...
I don't know. So my dog's St. Bernards. And you know how St. Bernards always have that look of like they're either judging you or they're just kind of really put off by what you're doing. So it's not very sexy to look over and see this face that's like,
You're doing it wrong, Dad. You're doing it wrong.
I mean, he literally does that. He goes,
I can picture it.
so it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Okay, so but I thought the best way to talk about how great a Pestie can be without just doing a montage of pictures of my dog to Queen's You're My Best Friend. Because, I mean, I could easily do that. I feel like you'd all fully agree with me that, yes, I am
can
right.
see it right now.
Can't you?
Yep.
I think the best way to tell you about how great a Pestie can be is to talk about the things that my Pestie and I can do together that might not translate so well into a bestie relationship.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Number 1, I can pet them.
You know, you won't even hug me most of the time.
I know, I can't pet you. It's too much.
Okay.
But I can also walk up and pet you. Would you sit by my feet? I call it a butt nook. Would you butt nook me and sit by my feet so I can pet you?
No.
Okay, well, my dog loves to be pet to the point that if he's lying by me, he doesn't take no for an answer. You've experienced this.
Yeah.
And he's really
persistent.
good. He's very persistent. Yes. Maybe he's doing this because he knows that it benefits me. Petting your Pestie is actually proven to lower blood pressure and release relaxation hormones. And then that can actually translate to your Pestie as well. It helps relax them. So have you ever had a best friend force their head into your lap and look up at you all sad eyes and stroke their hair?
I mean, I could do it if you want me to.
No.
Okay.
No. You haven't had it happen though. So Pestie 1, Bestie 0. Keeping score. 2, you can force them into cardiovascular exercise with you and they will, assuming you have the right kind of Pestie, they'll fucking love it, right? Research finds that not only can a Pestie reduce your stress levels from emotional interaction and hormone release, pets keep their owners more physically active, which also keeps you healthier.
Yeah, just from getting up off the couch every 2 minutes to let them in and outside.
Exactly. So unless you have a bestie that loves to hit the gym with you, and when you go, Jim, you want to go to the gym? Jimmy, you want to go, Jimmy? Jimmy, Jim? And then you can't even say the word in the house, because even if you start to get the j out, like they start peeing on the floor a little bit, I think a Pestie wins that one. 3, you can carry photos of your Pestie in your wallet or have like 6 photos of them in your office and no one will question it. Top of the benefits of petting your bestie, researchers believe that even having a close connection to them or seeing them is beneficial. So there was a research study where they essentially took pet owners and put them in a state of social isolation where they made them feel really lonely or like they didn't have any friends. I don't know why you would sign up for that, but hey, blind study, right?
Whoa.
Then they asked them to write a little story about their best friend or their Pestie. Okay. So you wrote about your bestie, your Pestie, or you wrote a map about the campus you were on, which was obviously the neutral participant. They found that writing about your bestie in correlation to better mood was the same as writing about your Pestie.
I can see that.
Yep. So even thinking about them makes you feel good. So you could have a photo of your friend on your desk for easy memory recall, but the frame isn't likely to be shaped like your best friend and have their paw print or handprint in it, right? And if it did, people might question it a little bit. I mean, I have a frame shaped like a St. Bernard. And then I have another frame with a dog paw print in it. Would you put your handprint in a frame and make it for me?
Sure.
In your 30s?
Yep, I would.
That's just because you're a good friend. Number 4, your Pestie can poop on the floor and it doesn't ruin your friendship.
This is true.
I don't really have anything for that one. It's just true.
It's true.
I mean, if you shit on my floor right now, I'd be like, what the hell? Where if my dog came in and pooped on the floor, I'd also go, what the hell?
Yeah.
But then I would just like clean it up
and move along.
With you, I might reconsider some things. Why'd you shit on my floor?
Just staking my claim.
God, get out of there. That's my favorite rug. Number 5, you can call them lovey-dovey baby best bunny or give them goofy names and no one bats an eye. So unless I'm missing something, I don't know many people that come up with pet names for their besties.
No.
But you would for a partner.
Right.
Right. Like babe or whatever. I always call my dog Tubby Pants and my husband responds to that. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. Instead of, that would be an insult, not a pet name. But anyway, so pet names are terms of endearment and hello, they're called pet names. But we do still assign them to humans, right? So we'll call someone a pet name when we are in a romantic relationship with them. And there's a good reason why. Pet names relate to an intimate moment in the relationship or an aspect of that person that we truly love. You might call your significant other a pet name that relates to a place you were together or something that was said in like intimate moment. And that's your special name for them because you know them on that intimate level.
Right.
Using the name reminds us of that deeper level of relationship. So like when my friends call me Jildo, it's totally because they love me.
Right.
I know it is.
It is.
No. Number 6, you can buy your Pestie outfits and dress them up for your own amusement. Can I buy you an outfit, dress you up for my amusement?
I mean, as long as it's cute.
What if it's not? What if I just said every time you come in this room, you have to be wearing a bow tie like Arnie does?
Yeah, no. No go.
No. I'm pretty sure if you told your own bestie that they needed to wear a bow tie for every moment of their life just so that you could laugh, they probably wouldn't do it, right? My husband might, but there'd be a trade-off. I don't know if I want to
get into that.
Yeah. But outfits for Pesties are not actually all about amusement either. There's actually a lucrative market for pet outfits. Pet outfits actually go back all the way to Egyptian times even. They do outfits for animals not just to look cute, but to stay warm in winter. They even have sun visors for cats that have difficulty seeing. I don't know if I buy that one. I'm pretty sure that's just because cats are really good at poker and it's so that you can't read their poker face. That's what I've learned from artwork. So, and when you dress up your animal like they're a child, you in turn create a relationship where they are like your child. The University of Veteran Medicine in Vienna investigated the bond between dogs and their owners and found that the relationship turns out to be highly similar to a relationship between parents and kids.
Yeah, I don't think pets like that so much though. I mean, I've dressed mine up a couple of times, like Packer jerseys or for Halloween, or even like the little booties for the snow.
Yeah.
Nope.
No go?
No go.
We put a handkerchief on Arnie one time and he tore it to shreds.
Oh.
So that was the end of that.
Surprised. So surprised by that.
Finally, you can sleep with your Pestie. If your partner's ever come home and found your Bestie in your bed, I don't think it would work out as well as finding your Pestie in your bed.
Probably not.
No, probably not. For us, the Pestie in the bed is a bit of a compromise because, well, by compromise, I mean like I'm told I can't have him in our bed. So then I just wait for Captain Hot Pants to leave and then I sneak him in because he's the size of a person.
Yeah.
If I cover him up, it's almost like it just looks like our son crawled in our bed. So I tuck him under the covers and it's all fine. But really, studies have found that as long as you enjoy having a Pestie in your bed, you have to first of all be okay with it. And they have to be that. If they're like in toddler mode where they're ninja kicking you in the face, that's not going to help. But if having them in bed, it's something that you want, science has actually found that it can lower anxiety levels. And it also creates a sense of security for people that maybe live alone. So there's nice benefits to having a pet sleep in your bed.
Yeah, my dogs used to sleep with me. And then I met Jesse and he was not thrilled about it, but he put up with it. He always jokes around because I'd always get the soft part of their back because one would like to sleep down by the feet and the other one would crawl up and put her head on our pillow and her back to me and the claws out on Jesse. Yeah.
Push away.
And I just refused to really change that. And I was like, listen, they were here first.
Right?
But then we had our first baby and the dogs, they just moved around so much and they were waking the baby up all the time. And I was like, that's it.
You got to go.
You got to go. So ever since then,
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
For our son, he was terrible at staying in his bed at night. And we got him a fish about 6 months ago. And he hasn't left his room.
Really? Just a fish?
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Nice.
And the thing about Pesties and the science behind it, it doesn't have to be a dog. A lot of these studies are with dogs just because that's a common pet to have. But it can be a dog, it can be a cat, it can be a pig. So in conclusion, much of what I said was in humor, but there is a scientific base behind it. For those who love animals, having a Pestie can lead to better health, a human-like bond, and a level of support that we might not always find in the human form. Are they better than health benefits of a great human friendship? I don't know. I'd say probably not because you can't have an intellectual conversation with a Pestie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It appears that they rival them.
I think they each have their own purpose for sure.
Maybe my Pestie and I need to go make our own Bestie and Pestie.
Need to go to the dog park.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of creepy.
Hey, my dog's humping your dog. You want to be friends? Special segment today is called Badass Mother Fluffer.
Yeah. I found this story about this badass mom. So she has 6 kids. It was September of 2019 and the worst possible thing happened.
Oh, does it involve a pool?
No.
Water and kids?
She slept alone at their home with their children and she heard a fire in the downstairs of the villa where 2 of her younger sons were. I guess they had woken up, gone down. She rushed after them. She got the boys out. As she began to open the door, the fire got air to it, more air basically. And
what's that movie, Backdraft?
Yeah. So it was like an explosion. So she got 2 of her 6 kids out, right? So meanwhile, her house is just going up in flames. What do?
Run back in.
Right. Exactly. Your children are up there.
Yep.
She shouted at the children upstairs to get out on the balcony. And as she walked up the stairs, she said every step burned. Every step that she took, pieces of her skin and her feet were coming off.
Yeah, I imagine.
And she just kept going. Like she said her skin was essentially like melting off of her. She was like super concerned. She didn't even know if her kids got out to the balcony or where they were, but she like was not giving up. She got up and she found out that one of her daughters had jumped from the upstairs balcony and ran to a neighbor to get help. And they had tried to like lower a ladder or something to climb out. She got all of those kids out. So she had 3 in that room and then 2 outside. So she's got 5 of 6 kids out, right?
Yep.
Well, she has a little one that's in a crib, and there's no way that she can get out by herself, right? She's just not old enough. God, my heart just breaks. Like thinking about this.
This better end well.
So she is like concerned. There's so much smoke, and she's thinking there's no way that this little one is even still there. She's having such a hard time breathing, but she makes her way to this bedroom. She can barely see through the smoke, but she sees her little one standing there in the crib, crying and terrified.
Mm-hmm.
So she gathers up as much energy as she even can at this point, because she's basically thinking, I'm going to die at any minute now. She is like done. She only had her own body at this point, no blanket to protect the baby, and she can't just throw her off the balcony. So she grabs her, covers her with her own body, goes to the other room where the kids had escaped off on the balcony, and her son had the steps in place. So she made her way down the steps. And again, she said, my feet stuck to each step. I was just bleeding. At the last step, she collapsed. It was probably one of those things where she had just enough adrenaline to make it as far as she did. And once she realized that she had all of her kids out and she was in safety, she just collapsed and was out. Long story short, the ambulance came and took them all. And she had obviously passed out from like excruciating pain, and she woke up and asked, are all my kids here? Surprisingly, her kids were all fine, barely a couple scratches on them. Meanwhile, she had burnt 93%
Of her body?
of her body.
Oh my gosh.
It's literally a miracle that she survived.
Yeah.
It's really uncommon for people to survive even 90% of burns.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that she's alive. But I read that and I was like, that is one badass mom right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all of us as parents can relate to that. Like, holy.
I hope I never need to, on a literal level, relate to that situation. But
But I could totally.
I'm going back in. Sorry, not sorry, but
Nope.
I am.
No, because I wouldn't want to live. If I was outside and my children were inside and I couldn't save them, I don't want to fucking be here. Nope. Yeah.
No, agreed. And it sounds morbid.
No, though.
And I almost feel like for some that believe that bad things happen for a higher purpose, that to me, I think the higher purpose is that I need to go back in and save them. That's how I see that.
Agreed.
So she's fine.
She's okay.
I'm assuming she's not okay, but
right. She's went through extensive surgeries to kind of regrow her skin, and she doesn't look the same. She's never going to look the same.
yeah.
But she's alive. She's got her kids. She's got her family.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
That's badass.
That is badass.
Mm-hmm. I know, you could have told that story faster.
I'm sorry.
God, I'm over here listening to it like, this better end well. This better end well. I'm walking out.
1, 2, 3.
So what is your fluffy takeaway from this episode?
Mine's pretty obvious this time.
Is it though?
It is. It's important for me to put a little bit more effort into the bestie relationship.
Oh.
I think I am, at a point where my kids are getting a little bit older and I am ready to go back out there and maybe not make new friends, but make better friends with the ones that I have. And that I need to just shovel a little bit of that insecurity fluff away and know that underneath I have a lot to offer.
Yeah. And those insecurities, if you share them, you'll realize, I think, that some of your friends have the same insecurities.
Yeah. As long as they're okay with me not hugging them still.
I'm okay with
I gave you a hug the other night.
You did.
It only took me 3 old fashions, but I did it.
Yeah, you did. Were you talking about the one in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even ask for that one.
I know.
Did you notice? I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was like, what's happening?
She hugged me. Oh my gosh, it's like a baby taking its first step. What do I do? Get the camera.
My fluffy takeaway. Yeah, gosh, shit, I don't know. I need to be nicer to my dogs.
That's a good one.
I need to give them a little more grace.
I think you offered us a lot of information in the bestie that it sounds like when you did the research, you had quite a bit of fluffy takeaway.
There you go. All right, so that's it for this episode. Like, follow, share, and review our podcast. How? Well, you can like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can find our podcast and leave reviews on all major podcast apps. And you can share anything you find with those you love. Come on, you know you want to.
Share.
Let us love you. Bye.
See you next time. Thank you for joining us on Fluffy Mother Fluffer. Hopefully this episode lifted a little bit of fluff off that pile called life. And if not, well, join us again next time, you fluffy mother fluffer, you.
My fluffy takeaway is that I realized we have period shits.
You're the one who told me. And then I went, oh my God.